Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Charlotte. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Wanda, this morning. And if this is your first time, we are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. With modern technology, we are extremely grateful for the opportunity to touch so many lives, especially through Zoom and Facebook, and to share the wonderful happenings at CSL Charlotte. So please feel free to visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, put in a prayer request, and subscribe. We add all our recordings to our website each week, so you can always check in there. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a New Thought community, living an ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. The science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Dr. Ernest Holmes. He was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy is honored, along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinction. This is truly a diverse community. So whoever you are, wherever you are certainly welcome here. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, Great Spirit, love, Allah, Muhammad, whatever it is that you call God. There are many paths that end up in the same place. So whatever it is that your power resonates within you, that's perfect. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many holy scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and the Bhagavad Gita, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can go out, fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind and give you the tools with which to elevate your consciousness. In this way, we can help to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in the community. We teach everyone the tools to do exactly that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each of us and is each of us, lives, breathes, and has its being in us. So now I'll pass the mic over to our wonderful, wonderful spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale, who I know is prepared and ready to be a conduit for spirit.
Well, hello, everybody. All I can say is welcome, love streamers, virtual community, everybody everywhere. But the welcome is to CSL Charlotte, the mind, body, and spirit center. We got to have all three. So I am so grateful today to be kicking off another year of Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to everyone. Now, anyway, I always knew that there was never just Black people who loved Black people. There's a lot of people who love people. So we are a diverse community, as you heard Reverend Wanda say, and we love all people. So welcome to CSL Charlotte. This month, we will be loving on Black History Month. And this is our first day and our kickoff of 2023. So enjoy this celebration. So in celebrating the integration of the mind, the body, and the spirit, we at CSL Charlotte open our Sunday celebration with an affirmative prayer. So opening our affirmative prayer for the day, we have back by popular demand, my spiritual sister from another mister. This is Reverend Karen, a person who thinks with her heart first, then everything else follows. That's what I can tell you. When the first thing I learned about her, when I met her, I met a heart. So she and I were really connected from that day back some 10 years ago. But you know what? I love working the same mind, body, spirit practices along with her because I love how she reflects. She reflects so well on stage and gets crazy like I do, then bounces back. So who knows? Whatever obstacles that gets in her way and she blocks them, life can't block them. I mean, her obstacles can't be blocked for her life. So that's a beautiful thing. And she knows it. So who better could you get to pray as we open up the talk? Obstacles cannot block life. But Reverend Karen. So Reverend Karen, give us your prayer.
Oh my God, Reverend Rosedale, my sister. Yeah, today's talk about surrender and releasing obstacles is awesome. Just what I need to hear. So as we do that, and we know that there are no obstacles to prayer. There are no obstacles as we speak to God, as we commune with from our hearts, with the pure thoughts of manifestation of all the good, the highest good for ourselves and for those that we pray for the world, for everybody. And knowing God, knowing Spirit, knowing whatever we call the creator of all life, it is beyond all those names. It is the beauty of our hearts. And the heart is a symbol for love. And God has made us, I believe, 1,000,000,000% to come on this earth and love each other, to love our fellow man, our sister, woman, as we say, and just to show kindness, to show compassion and empathy for each and every person that we come across. And as I know this within my mind, my heart opens to feeling the presence of that, of what I call God within me. It is my power, it is my love, and it is my understanding and acceptance. It is my empathy for all people and for this whole planet. And I know that presence is within Reverend Rosedale, is within each and every person on this platform. It is within every single person that is listening to this recording if they're not here live. And it is within all life, everywhere. We are all one. We are all one within the root heart of God. And knowing this, my prayer for today is that each and every one of us hear what we need to hear. I know I will. From Rosedale's message, which flows directly through her from the highest presence, the Most High that created her and created all of us. And that message has got meaning for each and every one of us. So as we individually take the message that she imparts to us today, bring it into our hearts and bring it into our lives. Bring the message from today into our lives as we walk our journey upon this earth. And in gratitude for being here, and gratitude for being part of CSL Charlotte, and gratitude for having my beautiful sister Rosedale as this minister here, and gratitude for everything in my life, for what I appreciate and for what I seemingly do not. I am grateful for every second and every moment that comes before me. And knowing this, please join me in this prayer as we release this prayer into the universal law, the beauty, the heart, the manifestation of what is. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Reverend Karen, for that beautiful prayer. So next on our platform is this lady, Reverend Dr. Wanda Wayman. I gotta tell you something. Ever since I met her, another one, she's like a kindred soul sister to me. There's so much around the two of us that keeps showing up. So I got to go back for 2 seconds just to the 10 years ago when we met. And I didn't have any problems with asking her for favors. But I asked her a favor one time and I didn't think she'd be able to come through with it. But I was stuck somewhere in the middle of California someplace and didn't even know where my car was. I mean, how to be. So now I'm going to say to myself, hey, poor Wanda. I said, but she don't even know you that well. I called her. She came to pick me up. I had to go get a part all the way, like miles on the other side of the town to come back. She said, okay, where are you? I told her where I was. She lives like 45 minutes from where I was. I don't know what made me call her. Spirit did. But she got there. I looked up in 10 minutes and she was there. She said, all I did was look and I saw at this exit and I got right off the exit as soon as you hung up. That is so remarkable to me. So that is one of the things that she goes back with me. So all I can say is she and I have been kindred soul sisters before we even met. So That could have easily been a flimsy excuse to say, oh, you know what, I don't have time. This and that. Nope, she just said, I can come, boom. She didn't say where she was, she just popped off. So that's a beautiful thing. So as Reverend Wanda finishes her reading and sings this, I'm gonna tell you about a song, and talks about her reading, I want you to really listen with your heart, because after that, you're gonna find out about a mighty gift. And that comes from the song that Charles Hope is going to say, because that mighty gift will get us beyond all types of obstacles. So this is how we're going to start our focus on obstacles cannot block life. So now I invite you to take the words from Wanda's reading and take that song to your heart and prepare yourself for the talk today. Obstacles cannot block life. Dr. Wanda, let it do what it do.
I managed to mute myself for a moment. I will not be muted. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Today, before I start my reading, I just want to say that Reverend Rosedale is going to bless us today with an amazing demonstration of this reading. And I also looked in the Bible right before I found this reading. And because we do have this gift inside, I found in Numbers 14, it was written, I will do exactly as you have said. And in Proverbs, it says, we will eat the fruit of our words. So remember, our words are important as well, though even the words we tell ourselves. So today's reading is from Joe Dispenza, and it's about all limitations are a creation of our own minds. It makes sense that with a coherent brain that can hold the image of our future, we can actually empower our reality and then begin to rehearse who we are going to be. We can bring up the emotions of our future. If we can feel the gratitude before our healing begins, if we can feel our wealth or our worthiness before we have these things, then our feeling will start generating that which we desire. If we start being in love with ourselves, if we start being in love with life, then we create an equal result. That's the law of causing effect, not the law of cause and effect. If we are in awe of life and in awe of the moment, then we are going to have a mystical experience. If we are empowering, we are going to start stepping toward our success. So conversely, when we wait for the outer world to change, our internal state and dialogue become conditioned to being a victim of life, living in lack and limitation and separation. This becomes our entire life because we are not creating anything. We were born out of creation to create. If we say to ourselves, if this happens, then I'll feel happy, then that is the illusion that we create in our life and in our dimensional reality. And so it is.
Step into a greater faith and take a deep breath into that whole torso of yours and really feel good about that breath, because you can breathe. And as you exhale, just reflect as you relax and listen to those words that Charles Hope had just sung. Move from the gifts within, from the love we know, and step into a greater faith, because there will always be time enough to bring that mighty gift of joy. And the thing about all of this stuff that's within, that is what keeps us out of obstacles and keeps us jumping over those obstacles. So this gift that we have within works when we work it to remove the power from the obstacles. They don't have to move the obstacles, just to move the power from the obstacles. So just think about that. Wow. And then take a nice breathe and then exhale and wiggle your fingers, your toes, integrate that mind, that spirit, and that body. Dr. Wanda, for that amazing emceeing that you do all the time. You recently had that spine surgery and you didn't give your power to those obstacles and they did not block your life. So it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, our talk topic today, okay, I like it, is about obstacles cannot block life, right? But let me just tell you, Dr. Wanda's reading brought that particular talk title to life. So thank you for that opening prayer again, Karen. And speaking of prayer, our ecclesiastical team today will continue light over the service. And now I'm shouting out blessings to all the people watching and listening to practice that fact that obstacles cannot block life this week, the whole week. Meanwhile, I'm keeping gratitude in my heart for all of those healings that I have witnessed this past week. For those of you who really would like to experience some of those wonderful healings, join our consciousness meetings and just you'll hear more about that throughout the service. And now for everyone else under the sound of my voice, I feel the security of God's protecting presence all around this entire congregation. And it's virtual and it's anywhere you are. And as you care for the people you care for, go in peace. Talk about what happens with these obstacles so they cannot take your peace away from you. But I want to start first by reminding you and reminding all of us about the joy of surrender, since that was last week's topic. You see, obstacles cannot block life, especially when we are in surrender mode. So you also got to remember now, life is God, just saying now. So life is also energy and it exists in, around, and through each and every one of us. See, life is a source of power and a strength. And what it does, it left us with a force that binds us together as one. See, the thing is this, God has many names like spirit, like universe, like source energy, like power, and Elohim, another name that we'll talk about that sometime. But you know what? It just depends on which name this spirit of God resonates with for your soul. Now you see, there's just different labels. That's all they are. And these different labels is what help us see our connection. So life itself has so many names that just remember that you will hear them all when you deal with this community. For this power, because it's, oh my God, this is awesome. So now, this is how you know that obstacles cannot block life. When you have a great surrender practice. Now, last Sunday, I did say that, but you know what? I'm going to tell you this. It's very beneficial. And it's also important that we make time to reflect on the concept that obstacles cannot block life. So that is before participating in any situation, regardless of our expected outcome, you might want to do income, but regardless of what you're expecting, always before participating in anything, remember first that obstacles cannot block life, because the first thing you want to think of is an obstacle. This way, those obstacles become less intimidating. So practice loving yourself, because when you love yourself, you automatically love life. And I got that big time from Dr. Wanda's reading. She said, if we start being in love with ourselves, being in love with life, then we create that equal result. That's that law of causing effect. I really love that with Joe Dispenza. He has his own spin, and I love his spin as well. So he's just good. And then what's the last thing she said? If we are in awe of life and in awe of the moment, then we are going to have that mystical experience. If we are empowered, then we are going to start stepping toward our greater success. Now, only God has the greatest power against anything on earth, right? However, many people believe in obstacles, and that's when they give the obstacles the power. When they scare you, when they make you wince, you have just given that obstacle the power. That's why, if you think about it, obstacles cannot block life. Today's celebration starts our celebration for Black History Month in February 2023. This month, we recognize that obstacles that many Black people had to face and many lives, but you know what? Many of them still show through, and they're being celebrated this day in all different kind of arenas. But they should do it all the time, because we should always be celebrating each other. But that's okay. But right now, let me just tell you a little bit about why it's important to recognize that obstacles don't. So many obstacles and so many things to get through. And that alone made me see that I'm inspired by the work that I've seen before me. I am so grateful that I heard these powerful stories and gratitudes and of the obstacles of my ancestors over how they overcame so much and the strength they demonstrated. But you know what? That's the reason I say that obstacles cannot block life. Yes, they had it. You knew that obstacles, to say the least, you know, Blacks had a lot of, right? You know, here's the thing. They felt this life force within them. This is why obstacles can't block life. For the month of February, for that matter, I want you to listen to this. Faced many disadvantages and many difficulties, but Africans were brought to this country and sold into slavery. Black people were forbidden to go to school, and they better not have been caught reading any books either back then. And you know what? They dealt with the segregation, exclusion, and race violence. But you know what? Can you imagine living in a time where your house could be invaded at any given time? Somebody could come in and grab somebody out of your family and beat them right in front of you, and all you could do is look on in horror? That's just only one of the horrific fears or obstacles that got in their way of trying to go ahead. Because you know what happens when you're stuck on your obstacles? You can't move, you can't do anything because you're dwelling on the obstacle. But thank God, we evolved through those times, and a lot of those obstacles have been lifted. Then again, that's what life does. Life evolves. It gives us the how-tos, because all the how-tos are within us. It's our life force that's within us. It's our inner energy. On another note, according to my Smithsonian research, during the transatlantic slave trade, millions of African people were taken across that Atlantic. I love this history thing that I did, and they were enslaved. But check it out. They were torn from their cultures, maybe, and the conditions here, they had to be forced into changing their minds. But the good news is that life force in many of them contributed to all of these things. And the biggest thing I would say that it contributed to was the sounds of African-American music today. Black people would sing songs back then. Their voices would radiate around the entire platform. Now, they may not have been able to read, write, or any type of literature, but they can talk, and they were able to sing and communicate. And here's another thing. They knew how life. When they were singing songs of happiness, of praise, it also, and it gave them a voice for change and got them through this enslavement period. Oh boy, listen to this. This is the deal. So communication has its roots in music, and it happened to be the traditional African American music. And they did things like call and response song forms. And what science says is that is a captivating thing to sing these songs of call and response back and forth from one place to another. And they knew. And you know what? Many times their drumming was their communication. The drumming got them past those roadblocks going from the South to the North to free themselves from slavery. And music is also, on the same note, a comforting thing. It was very comforting for people during slavery in the days of Reconstruction, not to mention Jim Crow. But that's just a whole nother thing. But did you know that research said that the mind teaches, learns, and remembers when singing out loud? Now, wonder how Black people knew that then. But I have an idea. There is this one thing I know. That is this God, this spirit, this life force, or this universal power is still in the same energy with that they had, is still in each and every one of us, and we sure better be using it today. Let me just tell you about what that life force has always done for us, and it will continue to do for us, and it has done for us this day. That life force never changed. It had nothing to do with who you are, and it was never a respecter of persons. It's that same power that brought us from where we were yesterday to where we are today, individually and as a groups. Now, if you stick with it, to show you how you can work your own life force. And me right now and always. Now, all the time, I always say to myself, wow, all those obstacles, I need to know about some people that went through some of them and how did they come out? How did they fare? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Psychology says, and Alan is going to show you that a little bit different. I'm going to introduce our Alan Lilly, our A-team, my right-hand man, my left-hand man, my toes, my everything. And Alan, he has a celebration and a tribute to a wonderful person. Her name is Bessie Coleman. And you know, I'm sure just as well as you are, that she has had many obstacles, yet she rose to do a whole lot of things. And let me tell you something, with those obstacles, she did not let them throw her back, and she did not let them derail her. So you will, after you hear how obstacles cannot block life, in this woman's story, you'll hear a brief song right after that, and then you will find out about your own purpose. So Alan.
Hello. Yeah, I'm excited for today's topic because I enjoy researching people you don't hear about. So today I'm talking about Bessie Coleman. Elizabeth Bessie Coleman was the first female African-American pilot ever to hold an international pilot license. She fought discrimination to follow her dream of becoming a pilot. She became a skilled brainstormer and aviation educator. Coleman was born in Atlanta, Texas in 1892. Her mother was African-American and her father was Cherokee. She had 2 brothers and a young sister. Her parents were sharecroppers. When Coleman was 2, her family moved to Waxahachie, Texas, where Bessie went to school. Coleman's father was disturbed by the racial barriers in Texas. He believed that the family would be treated better if they moved to Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Unable to convince his wife to accompany him, Coleman's father left the family when she was 9. Around that time, her older brothers grew up and moved away. Coleman's mother worked as a maid. Coleman helped take care of her younger sister. During the cotton harvest, everyone in the family worked in the fields to earn extra money. It was hot, boring work, And during the harvest, African-American children could not go to school. Still, Coleman managed to finish all 8 grades in the local school. Coleman decided that she wanted to go to college, so she saved her money. In about 4 years, she had enough money to begin college. A year later, she ran out of money. At the age of 23, Coleman boarded a train and moved to Chicago to live with her brothers. And she became a manicurist at the White Sox barber shop on Chicago's South Side. But Coleman wanted to do something more with her life. Her brothers were back from serving in the military in World War I, with stories of their experiences at war. Her brother John teased her over how French women were permitted to learn to fly airplanes, but Bessie couldn't fly. This spurred the dream to become a pilot in Bessie. She began applying to many flight schools in the US, but was rejected by all as a result of her mixed activity and also her gender. Robert Abbott, the famous African-American news magazine publisher, admonished her to move to France, where she could learn how to become a pilot. She studied the French language after work at night. She got a new job managing a restaurant and saved her money. Robert Abbott and her friends helped her pay for the trip. In 1920, Coleman went to France on a ship. She learned to be a pilot at the Caldron Brothers School of Aviation. In 1921, Coleman became the first female African-American pilot ever to hold an international pilot license. She earned it from the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale. She earned hers 2 years before Amelia Earhart, who is her more famous contemporary. Bessie Coleman's dream was to have her plane and to establish her aviation school for women and African Americans. Coleman went back to the United States to work as a brainstormer, performing daredevil tricks like loops, figure eights, and near ground dives in her Curtiss JN-4 Jenny airplane while audiences watched. She made her first appearance in an American Air Show on September 3rd, 1922, at an event honoring veterans of the all-Black 369th Infantry Regiment of World War I. For her flying stunts, she earned many nicknames like Queen Bess, Brave Bessie, and my favorite, the Royal Race Aviatrix in the World. Coleman performed in the United States and Europe. 2 years after Bessie Coleman became a pilot, she survived a significant flight accident. In February 1923, the engine of her airplane stopped working all of a sudden, and she crashed. She suffered a lot of injuries and was severely hurt in the crash. She survived with a broken leg, cuts on her face, and a few cracked ribs. Thankfully, she got to heal from the accident. The accident didn't make her abandon flying, as she went back to pulling dangerous air stunts after recovering in 1925. In the 1920s, much of the United States still practiced racial segregation. Coleman refused to perform at places that did not let African Americans watch equally. For one show in Texas, Coleman refused to perform unless the showrunners let everyone in the audience enter through the same gate instead of making one gate for white people and one for Black people. She also taught flying lessons and encouraged women to learn to be pilots. On April 30th, 1926, Coleman and her mechanic, William Will, were practicing for a performance the next day. Will was piloting the plane when it flipped over and started to dive. Coleman fell out of the plane and was killed. She is buried in Chicago's Lincoln Cemetery. Coleman is in the Aviation Hall of Fame. In 1929, William Powell started the Bessie Coleman Aero Club in her honor. The club promoted aviation among Black Americans, and it allowed men and women to join. In 1931, 5 years after Bessie Coleman's death, the Challenger Pilots Association of Chicago started a tradition of flying to drop wreaths from the air every year over Coleman's grave in her honor. The African American women pilots formed the Bessie Coleman Aviators Club in 1977. Bessie Coleman stamp was made in 1995 to remember all of her achievements. And I'm really glad I was able to discover her awesome story.
Yeah. Oh, that was fabulous. And talk about obstacles to break, to crack some ribs and break, that didn't stop her. There was this life force within her just to show. It doesn't matter how long she did it, it's the fact that she did it. And can you imagine during that era, telling people, well, if you can't let us all through the same gate, then I will not perform. That's somebody who did not let those obstacles and was not afraid of them telling her, you can't do this, because she knew who she was. So guys, know your purpose, because obstacles cannot block life. Now, this next song is going to be about don't ever give up, because of course, Bessie Coleman didn't give up. And she did, and she transitioned when she did. Of course, Martin Luther King did not give up, and he transitioned when he did. But everybody, whether they transitioned or not, they had that life force within them, because obstacles cannot block life. So when Yolanda sings this song, don't ever give up, take her advice. And I think she can sing it better than I can. So let's hear from Yolanda Adams. Don't give up, because you know, to fulfill your life's purpose, all you have to do is answer your call, because now you know obstacles cannot block life. The key to unlock all understanding is all inside of you and me, and we have everything we need. And that's all she's trying to tell us. Obstacles can't block life. So I'm going to hand the mic back over to our fabulous MC and soul sister, Dr. Wanda.
That was beautiful, Reverend Rose. Thank you. It's been an absolutely amazing service today, as usual. So now is the time for us to invite the assistance of the community to take it to the next level. So in order to engage CSL Charlotte community, we must prepare for the succession of future generations. Leaders are created to fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles. The donations are made through time, talent, and treasure by people who not only want to see or feel the need for a community like this, but they want it, they choose it, they need it, I need it. So go to our website, cslcharlotte.org, and press the donation button where you can make your donations payable through credit card or check to CSL Charlotte. Your checks can be sent to the address on the website. And also, there is additional information that can be found on the website on how to make donations through Zelle and Venmo. And affirmative giving. Now, as we recite this together, we prosper collectively and individually. As we take care of ourselves, any good action we take blesses this entire CSL Charlotte community. Therefore, you will always have the center in full operation. So we are affirmative meaning saying yes, yes to spirit, yes to community, yes to investing in ourselves. So please share with me and speak this prayer to yourselves and out loud. Prosperity and abundance flows from the law of circulation, of giving and receiving. As I give to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, I give of my time, talent, and treasure, which opens the path of my grateful return of good, 7 times 7 or more, pressed down and pouring over. I am grateful for the universal power that exists to continuously open the paths for all prosperity and abundance that we all receive, and I now prosper. So right here, right now, as I accept these gifts, as I confirm and affirm that these gifts are being used for the good of all, that they will be sent back into the world in the form of education, empowerment, enlightenment. And I know that they will do good and elevate the collective consciousness of the world. So as I accept these gifts, I say thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your participation. And thank you for the gift of having you here today. So I now call upon us to give our announcements. Melissa, take it over, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Reverend Wanda. And oh my gosh, what a powerful message about obstacles cannot overcome your life. They cannot take over your life. They cannot be a part of your life, truly. And this is a great time to really remember that. And I now have the opportunity to announce some opportunities right here at CSL Charlotte. And CSL Charlotte is the place to come to truly, if you feel those obstacles, this is a place where we could just dissolve that feeling altogether with the different things going on. And the way to get through and get connected with CSL Charlotte would be through our website, cslcharlotte.org. And you can also connect with us on facebook.com. Make sure you like us and find those quotes, those inspirational words that just resonate with you. You can also connect with us on Facebook on Sundays. And there's YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, and a YouTube is a great way to tune in whenever you'd like to CSL Charlotte opportunities and those great screenings that happen on our Sunday morning services. And we have meetups. So be sure to meet up with us on Sunday and let people know about us as well, because it is a place to come. And like I said, if you feel any of those obstacles in your life, let's just get rid of them together. And this is a good place to do it. With our website, this is what our website looks like. And it's where we want to just really look at the different areas in that part in the right-hand corner there where it says more. That's right. More is what we give each and every day. And it's what we share together and to make us each more empowered. And with that more tab, it has everything we need, and we share, and we are able to give to our community through CSL Charlotte. And there's so many different ways of giving. We are able to give through contributions of our time, our talent, our sharing and our financial ways as well. There's also times where we want to make sure that we are able to open up to everybody. And today, everyone, we're so happy you are all here. It's a great to know that we are all sharing this time together. And welcome to all those who are new, who might be tuning in on Facebook as well. So stay informed, stay connected with CSL Charlotte. And if you ever have any questions, just go down, fill out your name, your address, and your information, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible. Our fabulous team are really always wanting to connect with you in a multitude of ways, and subscribe to CSL Charlotte as well. This is 2023. Now in 2022, if you made any contributions financially, want to make sure you check your emails, because your email, and all of those emails too, they might go into a folder that might be someplace where, some people might call it spam or some extra folder. So make sure you do check all your emails, because we are sending out financial statements right now for any donations that were made in 2022. And there's a lot going on right here. And it really starts Tuesdays. Tuesdays is when things really start moving along. It's a time for our weekly consciousness meetings in the evening at 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday. And that's when we go deeper into our message that we are receiving on Sundays. And it's also a time to come together. Again, we're talking about obstacles today. If you feel any obstacles or just something that feels that you want to give prayer to, we all come together in a wonderful collective consciousness, and we are able to pray for ourselves and our loved ones in times where we just feel that some obstacles may have gotten in the way. There's also on Tuesdays, I'm going to say right off, our Heartbeat Poetry Club. That is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. And our Heartbreak Poetry Club is a time where we really want to come together and recognize that from a deeper sense that there is poetry in life. There is a harmony in life. There is a connection in life. And we do have this opportunity, and you could come and share and just listen if you'd like to just the words, and it gives us a better appreciation for and a different perspective perhaps in something that we may not have seen before. So that's another reason to tune into Tuesdays. Certified classes, will keep an eye out for our again on cslcharlotte.org, because there's certified classes that come throughout the year, and we will make sure you know about them when you subscribe to our website and you keep in touch and connected with us, because we will get through to you on the everything with what's happening here at CSL. Audio and visual. That's right. CSL Charlotte. That is a place where we do it on Zoom online, and it gives us an opportunity through audio and visual recordings to go back. Maybe we may have missed something during those services. This is an opportunity to go back and check out and really kind of take in what it is that we may have missed, and just really apply it to our lives at that point, because there's a lot of really powerful, impactful messages to come through on that. And another thing we always want to instill is that connection through prayer. And we have prayer rooms after our services where you can go in with a practitioner, and just, if you have a prayer, you have a need that it just needs prayer, then this is the opportunity to do that. You can have a private one-on-one session with our practitioners. And we have a prayer practitioner, Maureen Thurston, who cares for our prayer tree. So if you want to send in a prayer request via email or text, or just give Maureen a call, or any of our practitioners a call, we will put your prayer on our prayer tree, and we'll have everyone pray for whatever given situation you feel needs prayer for, or just celebrate life in general. And in fact, I understand that we have right now that we're praying over is 351 prayers on that prayer tree. So it's really blossoming beautifully. And it's so great to have everybody come together in such a beautiful way, pray together, learn together. And with that, hello, Reverend Rosedale.
Yeah, okay, Melissa. Good job. Do y'all hear me better now? Yay. All right. Anyway, it's all good. Anyway, I just am so grateful for this whole platform, how well y'all just did. And Alan, oh my God, that was phenomenal. Oh, he did a great job. And did he teach us something or what? You know, he showed us how many obstacles this woman had and how she overcame and did what she had to do. I'm so excited about that. And okay, and thank you to everybody for doing whatever you do. Thank you, Melissa, for the announcements, and Dr. Wanda double dipping there with the reading and the MCing. Okay, that was really nice. And just being here, everybody, holding the light. Reverend Millie here, holding the light over the service and all of that wonderful stuff that we're doing. And Melissa also for the spotlighting. And then Alan, again, I'm going to thank you ahead of time for the, I was going to say boardroom babe again, but we're not doing that. He's doing the prayer room tech babe. All righty. So at the end, guys, make sure you give your time to yourself on the way out, and stay for prayer, or come over and allow us to give you that lovely prayer. And one more thing, if you have not received a prayer, speaking of prayer, from Mo, our spiritual practitioner, you have not put in a prayer request. So make sure that gets done and done very well. And so for those of you that find that things are going super well in your life and or not so great, just come in anyway and stay and have a prayer. 3-minute prayer is all you need. It'll change your whole day and your week for that matter. So now before we close out, remember that obstacles cannot block life for yourself. And once you reflect and accept and respect that, you can surrender. And boy, oh boy, you don't give your power to those obstacles. So this last song before Reverend Karen closes us out, and I want you to nurture the idea that obstacles cannot block life. And then while you're listening, dream something. You know, everybody's got a dream, and some of these dreams feel impossible because of the obstacles you may think you have to cross over to go to them. But here I am to tell you that nobody else can tell you better but this particular song, which is by Luther Vandross, and it is The Impossible Dream. So as we close out, really take this song into heart and know who you are. And so it is, everybody. And then Reverend Karen will pray us out. This. Yes, indeed. The world will be better for this if you would just follow that impossible dream. Oh, that you think is impossible, because it's not really always that way, right? So anyway, just know that it's time for us to close out. And I love it, that smile on Karen's face. That smile. Would you go ahead and just pray us right on out?
Oh my gosh, Reverend Rosie, I'm not ready for this service to end. It's so beautiful and it's so powerful. And it's like, oh, it's over already? This is the close? It's like, no. But thank you, darling, for everything, for the gifts, for the songs. And that the Dream the Impossible Dream was the song that my last husband and I danced to at our wedding. So it was quite emotional for me. But you know, that's perfect because our union getting together had so many obstacles in the way. It would never have happened if we didn't both release what was put in front of us to climb over, to come together. And doing that in this prayer, absolutely knowing that God is the source of all power. There is nothing more powerful than God, and that God presence is within us. So we have the power over our obstacles. And I look back at my life, all the obstacles were put there by me. And if they weren't put there by me, I had the power to have them disappear, and they always did. So knowing this beautiful message that Reverend Rosedale gave us, and the steps of my prayer here are all over the place, but that's okay because God doesn't care. God knows. And my prayer for all of us today is to go out into life and to know that we have the power to dissolve any obstacle that comes before us. We have the power to surrender to God and say, this is happening, to know the manifestation of our prayers before they even happen, to know that we are deserving of all the beauty that the universe has for us, and to take every word of Rosedale's message, every word of every song we heard here today, and know that it is true. It is the truth of who we are. We are human beings on this planet to give love, to share love, and to be love. And that's who we are. And in Black History Month highlighted all these beautiful people who were so strong in themselves. Well, we are that too. We are that too. So let's go out and make a difference. Even if it's a tiny little teeny weeny thimble full of difference, it's a big difference in this world. So with that, and then Thanksgiving for this beautiful service, for this beautiful platform, for Reverend Rosedale and each and every person here on this platform that I absolutely love, knowing that and joining with me in this attitude of gratitude and releasing this prayer into the universal law. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. And Reverend Karen, you do this service a lot of justice as well. In fact, every last one of y'all have. And I just have to say, it's such a wonderful group to have. I love you guys. You're going to be all over my book. So anyway, that said, it is time for me to say to you, have a fabulous rest of this week. Don't forget to just think, whether it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, green, or yellow. When you celebrate or when you hear the word Black History Month, just think of the things that you might have thought were impossible, that if one people could do it, all people could do it. And just know that obstacles cannot block life. Okay? And I will see you guys at the top. Make it a great week. Enjoy yourselves.